Sajanan Sormarajani Jay. Did everyone enjoy the 75th event? The birthday celebration? Good. We got a lot of really good feedback that everyone did enjoy, and we could tell in their faces and in their voices and just how happy they were. So I really wanted to take this time to just really thank everybody, because even though it's very different than anything we've done before, it was, we had wanted to do purposely, I think, something smaller. And I think, that, I myself was a little hesitated, but even though we had 700 people come, it was still very family style, and people really felt that, and they enjoyed it a lot. And I have to say that, it was only with God's grace that we were able to do that, because clearly, I think we didn't get that number 700 until like the last week. So the fact that we had enough food, that we had enough space, that we had enough parking space and all of that, that really was God's grace. So thank you all for your prayers and for allowing that to happen and go, to go so that we could manage it and giving us the strength to manage it. And I think, it was obvious that it really took each one of us to do this, because as everybody knows, we had asked for a lot of help. We had emails going out, we had announcements, we had phone calls that just repeatedly asked for help, and we really could not have done this if every single person had not stepped up to help. And so I just wanted to say thank you to everybody and kind of, go down personally on what people have done. And this is not in any particular order, but just going day by day, and the first day was the picnic. So I want to thank Sapan and Sapanbai and Rachna Ben for their plays, for their generosity, for ensuring we had the most fun possible and be as comfortable as possible on Friday. They had so much food and so much preparation that they really, they did not spare a single expense. They had more food than we could have eaten, and we did eat. So that was really nice. And again, I think people were just very touched that it was a day of kind of relaxation, because that's different than what we've, than other events that we've done. And, the fact that all those cars fit there, that was Jitubai, Alpeshbai, Prakashbai, the parking team, transport, Vandambai, Kitambai. Their job never ended, and more often than not, they were not in attendance in the actual events. They were out there parking cars and picking people up, and the ones who were picking up people from the airport, their job actually started almost a full week before, and it didn't end even until about a full week after. So they were nonstop. And the one team that I think, I'm gonna admit that I personally laughed at the most was the hugging team, but I think that was probably the most successful, because every single, person, I think people were really, really touched by that. And all the girls like Brahmi, Smriti, Dara, Harshanti, Viba Ben, people were just very touched by that warmth, and it was not unnoticed. The Deco team, I know Nirbik had mentioned this last week and the week before. Nirbik by Disha Ben, Hiral, Chintan, Varun, Dhruvesh, and all. That was an amazing job every single place that we went. That really was not a small task. And it was just, they keep raising the bar, and yet they've really kept us grounded with our purpose and with the decoration and reminding us of why we're really here. So also, I saw a lot of people really enjoyed that selfie station, so that was nice. And just the commitment of that team, they've been working, we know that they're probably one of the first ones to start working. There's a lot of creativity, but they also have a lot of execution. So, Nirbik by Disha Ben, Disha has more than one job. She goes to school. Nirbik by, his kids are like a job each. So, Bino Bobby obviously helps a lot, and it was her input that I think added a lot of the final touches. Hiral Ben Chintan Bai, I want to say particularly like Varun, Dhruvesh, and and Herrick, that they, just to give you guys an idea that, they're downtown, they're students, they don't have transportation, and, no matter what we ask them for, they are there. I just remember the first call that I made to them, and I said, can you guys be here? Like, we're trying to accommodate or go with their schedules, and it was like, what's your schedule? How free are you? Don't you guys work? And they're like, you tell us the time, we'll be there. Like, yeah, but what about, like, what's convenient for you? Even if we're busy, even if we have something, we will be there. You just tell us the time. So they just repeatedly did that, and every time they came, it was just a huge help in terms of, everything they did, and, obviously the number of people was just very helpful. So that was awesome. Thank you guys. And I just want to say that also that the gala was Ketanbai's vision. He had wanted to have a very special, memorable evening with his most beloved guru. And so he wanted each and every moment to be about Dinkar Uncle and his Mahima. So is Ketanbai here? Did we get there? And then, okay. Okay, good. So thank you, Ketanbai. I just, I think it was kind of, we had a very short planning period, probably shorter than we've done before, but it took execution, and it took a lot of grace to get there. It was very nice. Thank you to everyone who participated in any of the interviews. So that was literally everybody, right? That any of the interviews, for the videos, for the books, for the, I think, for any of the recording. And I thought that was a great way to include everybody. Parthbai's music was amazing. The number one kind of response that we got in terms of one of the emails that we got about what was your favorite moment, Chandrakant Uncle said, it was the CD key. That was the best part. And so that was really good. And that was Parthbai and Maitriben. So, and everyone, again, everyone who did an interview, hopefully you guys were all included, and everybody was included in one or more of those things, whether the book or the film. And, it was kind of, a lot of people gave us the same, thing, either in writing or vocalized or in the video. So everybody's stories were used somewhere. And that helped to tell the story of our Chicago Mandal. And then just to mention that there's going to be a slightly more polished version of that video available this coming week. And it's going to, this time, include the ladies, because we were not able to include them that night. So that'll be, I think, available on the YouTube. And then the Bhajan team, which was Amit Bhai, Parth Bhai, Kiran Ben, Ankur Bhai. People had a real blast with that. It was a very nice touch with the A1 team to have that live music and to hear new variations on our bhajans. And they actually, they're professional. And so they are real professionals. Really, like, they have day jobs. They're doing this on their own time. Because they really enjoy it. But the fact that they did it for us and they took the time as professional musicians to learn our bhajans and do that, I just think that was really nice. And a lot of that, I feel, comes from, that's Rachna's cousin, and that they did that because they really like our group too, was just very, very nice. And so that was awesome for the A1 team. The food team was also another team that was really like a month out. Indira Ben, Ganshambai, Daksha Ben, Shilpa Babi, and so many helpers, because it took a ton of people. That was literally around the clock. I don't know how much, not just Indira Ben slept that week, but for the weeks before and after. Nena Auntie, Hemali Ben, and a lot of other people also helped there. The cakes were very memorable. Hardik Bhai, Nisha Ben, the teams that helped prepare it, the 10 people that it took to get it on and off the stage, and then all the session planning, Amit Bhai, Falguni Ben, Maitri Ben, Pinky Babi, Rachna Ben, all the participants, to make sure that we all enjoyed it, had different content, and that each session felt really different. And all of the kids with their book, I have to say, I was really touched by that. You know, they took 75 prasangs. I love the title of it, but they took 75 prasangs and really, you know, poured out their heart and souls into this book. And they did it on a very short timeline. I think Richa did a lot with writing those stories over. She did that all by herself, and that was pretty amazing. That's not a small task. Parikshit Bhai, he worked so hard day and night on that for quite a few weeks, trying to, you know, put that together. And I don't know how he did it, but, you know, he also put his heart and soul into that. That is like literally his life story, his moments with Dinker Uncle, and, you know, how he has taken that to Arizona and how he lives that. You know, that really is the celebrating Gunatit presence that we wanted, and that we each live for. So every moment was a different turn with that book, and he pulled through, you know, Brahmi Didi and all the kids. So, and at the end, you know, Brahmi Didi did carry that book into the final mile. So thanks to them for just making that, you know, something very memorable and tangible. And then just one more thing is, do you guys remember what this place looked like 2 months ago? That these guys, the miscellaneous labor, came in and they ripped up all of those seats. They did an amazing job with that carpet. And so thanks to everyone who helped, which included other than miscellaneous labor team, whom we always have to thank for everything. It also included like Vidya Darbai, a bunch of the guys, Krishnan, and then we also got awesome shoe racks. Thank you. I have also seen them in other people's homes since then. So those are a good choice. So thank you, Vimalbai, Sapanbai, Valente, and everyone else who helped with that. And I'm really supposed to be here to talk about what I learned. So out of all of this, I learned a few things. And one is that it takes all of us to do it. It really does take all of us to pull this off. And, you know, not just here in Chicago, but, you know, we got help from Delhi. Pintu Bhai was working on this when he was in Delhi. He looped in the Delhi team. Ashish Bhai did the invite. And the Powai team also did a lot. I don't know, and I'm really sorry, but Uncle, I don't know when Chirag slept in that last month, but he did a lot. Chirag Bhai, Kajal Ben, Hemant Uncle, Forum Ben, they did a lot for us. So, I mean, it has gotten to the point where, you know, we've been doing this because of some of the centennial celebrations that we've been working together now every year for the last 5 years, that all of this is really a global effort. And so another thing is that, you know, I think we're all here and we're all lucky. You know, we are kind of like the few, the chosen, the proud, to be here in this satsang. But also when we don't play our role, God has a plan for us. And it's like Kakaji's quote, right? That, you know, about the destiny, that we are all here to fulfill our destiny. And if we don't do it, if we don't play our role, God's grace fills in. He has arranged everything to happen according to his wish. So it's really up to us whether we want to be a part of that, whether we want to fulfill that. But regardless, the outcome is up to him. In the last week, I was saying, you know, in that last week, more than 200 people registered. That really blew out all of the counts for everything that we had been preparing for. But still, everything was managed nicely. And I have to say, I know, you know, Ketanbai and Vandambai just did a lot to handle that. And Ketanbai is just a guy that just does everything. You know, you give him like 10 things to do, he'll be like, okay, I did that, what's next? I did that, what's next? He's just you know, very big on just doing things. So, and it was very nice to see kind of the efforts that, you know, for me anyway, efforts that everyone made for Dinker Uncle. So many people care, so many people were just very touched, and to hear everyone's own experiences, that was really, truly memorable. And people, you know, were talking about since their childhood, how Dinker Uncle has impacted them. And then I just want to say my last thing is that Dinker Uncle, we know that these events are for our own development. And I can speak for myself only that I did see some of my capacity levels. So I learned how much more I have to go. But overall, I think we wanted it to be a family event, and people, walked away with that feeling. A lot of people said that it was very nice, it was warm, and they were truly touched. So as a group, I think that's a huge positive for us, that we're able to be warm and welcoming for others. But, that experience team, the budget team, hugging team, we all came together to give something more than we could with money, and that was that feeling and to have that divinity and mahima. But, my prayer is may we continue to feel your presence and celebrate your presence in this way every day. Sajan and Swarmanajani Jai.